What's going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop Luke. I'm planning on this video to be short and sweet, so let's roll that intro and jump straight into it. So this video is going to center around Collingwood's for and against points for the last decade, so from obviously 2010 to 2019, so last season. I'm going to show the league average as well, talk about where we were sitting in these years, and what I think will happen this season and going ahead. So at the start of the decade, we had obviously that premiership in 2010, grand final 2011, Buckley took over in 2012, so 2012 and 2013, we still made the finals. 2014 to 2017, no finals, 18 the grand final, and 19 the preliminary final. So we ended the decade kind of like we started it, but just without that premiership. So let's start with 2010. So as you can see in 2010, the league average was about 2,000 points for and against, and we just blew that out of the water. We landed at about 2,300 points for and close to 1,600 against. So we were a very good defensive side and a very good offensive side. And that obviously played a huge part in winning that premiership. Malthouse finally cracked that code and got us playing really good football, really high-scoring football, and great defensive football. And that carried on to 2011. As you can see, league average still around 2,000 points, but we just blew opposition out of the water. We scored about 2,500, looks like 2,550 points, and then even better defensively that year at around probably close to 1,500 points. I remember this year because we were just putting on 100 plus point tallies and just, like I said, blowing teams out of the water. I remember a Scott Pendlebury interview where he did say that in 2011 they had that mentality about, going into games, it would just be like, how much are we going to win by today? And that was clearly evident throughout that season. Obviously, it didn't lead to a premiership, which it should have, because we played better football in 2011, I feel, than we played in 2010. And then Buckley took over. And as you can see, this trend started to happen. You can see the huge dip in points scored for. League average still about 2,000 points, but we got closer to that for, it looks like about 2,100 points. And the big rise in points against, leading close to, I'm going to guess that's about 1,700 points. I couldn't really see a big difference in the squad. The only two notable differences was that Leon Davis retired and Chris Tarrant retired at the end of the 2011 season. Could it have to do with, that whole Buckley taking over the squad, everyone's still for Malthouse? I think that does play a part in it. And you can see that from 2012 to 2017, it's pretty much the same sort of thing. Like I just said, 2012 to 2017 was pretty much the same in regards to, I guess, how poorly we were doing. Yes, in 2012 we were in the finals. Yes, 2013 we were in the finals. But then there's those 4 years, 14, 15, 16, and 17, where we were absolutely shithouse. And people can say, yeah, we had a bad couple of seasons. But now this data here just kind of illustrates the fact that we were really poor in those 4 seasons. So 2012, 2013, we were still above average for the points scored for. But you can see the huge jump from 2011 to 2012 in our defensive efforts. The league average still stayed around that 2,000, but you can see we let in about, I want to say about 1,800 points for 2012 and 2013. So we weren't as defensively tight as we were in 2010 and 2011. And that is a trend that stuck with us all the way up until 2018. Again, in regards to squad changes between 2012 and 2013, the only big outs were Chris Dawes, Shane Rellingham, and Ben Johnson retired. So you can see that the main group from 2010-2011 was still a part of the team. Now 2014 was, I guess you could say, Buckley's squad, or the start of Buckley's squad. It was Pendlebury's first year as captain, and we made a bunch of big changes in the list before the season started. Didac, Jolly and Cracker were delisted. Thomas and Shaw left, so 2 premiership players left. Luke Ball, Quinton Lynch and Nick Maxwell all retired as well, amongst other changes and stuff. But you can see how our 4 points are below league average, and you can see why. And you can see that our against points are just on the league average. And of course, your against, you want to be lower than the league average, and your for, you want to be higher than the league average. And those changes, those big changes to the squad, doesn't help our cause. 2015, 2016 pretty much followed the same path that 2014 did, but in 2015, you can see that our points scored 4 went up a bit, but our defensive efforts were still pretty shit house. 2016, our defensive efforts were higher than the league average, and our points for were lower than the league average. Also in 2015, 2016, Beams, Heredia Lumumba, Dane Swan, Alan Tuvey, and Brent McCaffrey, to name a few, also retired. 2017 was our worst season ladder-wise for the decade. We finished 13th. 14, 15, 16, we finished 11th, 12th, 12th, and then 17, 13th. And you can see in this graph here that the for and against are pretty much league average, and you don't want to be average, you want to be extraordinary. But 2017 was a very average year, and this sparked our current day resurgence, because at the end of 2017 we had that big club review where every single department was gone over with a fine-tooth comb, and there was a couple of changes squad-wise, with Cloak, Nathan Brown leaving, but there were a lot of changes in the coaching and staff department. So like I just touched on, there was a lot of things that come out of that 2017 club review. Buckley wasn't sacked, a new CEO was appointed from outside the inner sanctum. Derek Hines returned to his national recruiting manager role. And coming out of that 2017 review and all the assistant coaching changes was Justin Longmuir as our defensive coach. Came from West Coast, played for Fremantle, and he turned our defensive efforts on its head. As you can see in this graph, 2017, our defensive efforts, so our against points, were on league average, about 2,000 for that season. 2018, the league average dropped. You're looking at about 1,750, but our defense total points dropped to lower than that, looking at about 1,600, while also our attacking went up to 2,000. So well above league average, and that trend continued into 2019. So you can compare 2018 and 2019. You can see the steady decline of our fours and against, but also the league average. Like I said, league average looks like it's about 1,700 in 2018. Looks about, 1,650 in 2019. It's just getting lower. I'm not a mathematician, but those trends look like they will continue in 2020. Lower scoring, but if we stand on opposite sides of that red line, we will do very well this season. As you know, is evidenced, 2018 made the grand final, 2019 a kick away from another grand final, but I do believe that we're on the right track. Alright guys, so that was a bit of a different video than what I'm used to. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if you want to see more things like this. Had a little bit of fun with it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Hit that notification bell so you can see when my videos get posted. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. Until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later. What's going on, swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop Luke. What do I usually say? Oh my god. Oh, I wasn't recording this whole time. Are you fucking kidding? Is this a fucking joke? And the huge... What's the opposite of dip? What the fuck? Up dip. Is up dip the opposite of dip? No. The huge... Oh my god. Rise. What a fucking idiot, Luke. And one of those assistant coaches was John Longmuir. John Longmuir. John Longmire. Longmire. Oh my god. I can't be bothered checking it up. I'm too lazy. Longmire. Oh my god, I gotta check it up.
Longmuir.
What the fuck was that? Longmuir.
To have secured a person of Justin Longmuir's capability.
Alright.